Hello and welcome everyone to this workshop in the evening together with Raoul Postel. Raoul is a great friend of mine, so I'm really happy to have him here on stage. He's actually sitting next to me, not so far away, so that's even cooler. So I will be sitting next to him to make sure we don't have a big echo here. But feel free to join us in this workshop. So take the lessons we have. I will be performing it. So wish me good luck, and I will put Raoul on stage now, and I will just join him over there.
Okay, there you go. Hello, everyone. Just checking, just a moment, all the tech. And that here, yeah, we can go on.
Yeah?
Yes, yes.
See that? We're live?
Are we live? Yeah. No, I don't see the red button here. Stop sharing. Yeah, we are live. We are live, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Here we are.
Great.
So
can't see each other.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this way. I don't know.
That's probably the way.
Would be the screen then, eh?
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit strange still. So I will move myself to another space, and you can start talking, Ro.
Yes, great joining. That you join us. We should do a session about 1.5 hours or maybe 2, but we will shorten that because I should give a workshop with some hardware, and there was no subscription for that, so I thought it would be nice to take my hardware with me, and I have some stuff here. With the microcontrollers we like to show you, and we like to show you that because it's interesting. I like to see how things work. Sometimes I get some fun stuff. I hope I can show you this with the small webcam. It's a small drone, and it can fly by itself. And it goes on, and it goes on, and it can flip. And now I will take it, and it's a nice drone. You can steer it with your fingers, and you can push it. And it's a toy for kids. You can buy it for a few dollars in shops in China. So I like this. And the next question for me is, how can I imagine how this works, how people build this? I like to show. I like to make part of it, and so I would like to know how this works. That's the thing. The reason I work with microcontrollers, so I can search for things and can make new things out of it. And more important is, for me, I can tell people about it. I like to work with children also, and my passion is mostly with children who I can see and who I can work with, and I can see their emotions and see their interest in the stuff. So that's mostly the things that I'm inspired by, and so now I have to do this in a webcam, and it's not my complete comfort zone. So I asked Nick, can I do it with you? And Nick is also sometimes a great child to work with. Because he's very curious in everything tech holds. So I thought it would be nice to work a little session, with Nick, so we can learn each other something.
Yeah. So you have some screens on as well, like a website page with some instructions that we are going to walk through, or what is the way that we are going to have?
Yes. I made for the education in the Netherlands. I made 3 tutorials with almost the same parts in it, and the basic part is a kind of microcontroller, and maybe some of you heard of it. Arduino is a famous name in the microcontroller world. It's a brand. But it's the same thing you can see in your get in China. And take my cam with it because I have to show you something. These are microcontrollers, and you can work with them.
Like they are in here.
Yeah.
As well, like this small one.
Yes, this small one.
Okay.
Here's one with a red light on it. It's also a microcontroller. They look not always the same, but they are the same. It's the same principle. A little microchip, and you can put it on and put some code on it.
Okay.
See, this is the curiousness from Nick.
Yeah, unpack therapy. Yeah.
Yes, great. Do that. And
these eyes. Eh? What are these eyes?
The eyes. Show them.
Yeah, it looks like a little robot, like with the eyes.
Yeah. They call the ultrasonic. They send ultrasonic waves and catch them also. And when the ultrasonic wave has sent, it reflects on an object and gets back, and so it can measure the distance between objects.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a nice tool because we work with a lot of distance things in this time. So we have an 1.5 meter rule from the COVID period.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would be nice to make a small distance sensor with
let me get my screen so we have like
okay Nick gets the screen. So could I make a small distance sensor with some microprocessor and a distance sensor? And I like also, I'm a little also a designer. I'm not a programmer, but I like the imagine of it too.
So let me share a screen. So which website we can go to?
Yeah, you can go to the CreativeHubs. It's you're almost there.
Mm-hmm. If I go back on your website,
yeah,
I think I have to go back here.
Oh, that's a back, a regular back button. So then go to the CreativeHubs website, and there I can give you. There are all links in it.
Yeah.
Mostly in Dutch. I'm sorry, that's necessary for the kids here. They will talk English, but not always.
Yeah, let me put it over here so we can just show the slides on
Nick,
my screen.
I showed them this one.
Oh, really?
For sure, because these are gimmicks who have inspiration for me. And that's my curiosity. It attracts my curiosity in tech. How do these things work, and can I find out a little bit about it?
Yeah. So I'm going to put it on the screen, like the workshop thing.
Oh, great.
And now we have it over there.
Yeah,
that's the right one. Huh?
That's the right one. Yeah.
So we can still see it.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you'll get a 1.5 meter link. So, but the tutorial is in Dutch. I'm sorry, but. Because we don't do this live, normally I do these workshops on a webcam with real
Dutch
people,
kids, huh?
Dutch kids.
Yeah,
yes.
Because you're a teacher as well.
I asked them to order these parts, so they have their own parts for the future also. Because the nice thing of a microprocessor is you can put many things on it. Sensors, you can put motors on it, you can put lights on it. So we have different sensors.
So I guess we have to start with this thing.
Yeah, sure. I show you one example. It's very, you can see it. This is also the microprocessor. And I have a phone here, and it's called the Wi-Fi shoe. And I made it for a summer camp. Once we did with sneakers, and they could pimp their sneakers and give them a color with the lights. I put it on. Here it is. You can see
that's a smile.
Little smile now. Yeah, and they by pushing the buttons on their phone, they can put it, make it another color.
Nice. So
Yellow.
it's like you create an app for that?
Yeah, you have a sort of app. It's a website. It's running on this microprocessor, so also that is possible. Small websites with a little bootstrap for people who know that. So
what is the Bootstrap?
Bootstrap is a design layout, a design library for websites.
Okay,
so,
like a framework.
Yeah, it's a open source framework. Use it if you want. Most WordPress websites, very famous websites, are built with designed with Bootstrap.
Okay.
So I teach kids how to do this. To make it yourself, it's a little difficult, but if someone explains it to you, it's good to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the Wi-Fi part is a difficult one. So it's maybe too big to do this in this session. But the 1.5 meter one is very easy to do.
Yeah.
Therefore, we need some software. And I will give Nick access to my computer, because I installed the software, and that's maybe interesting to see, because that's the same software I use for installing Arduino boards.
Mm-hmm.
And Arduino, when you Google on Arduino, it's a famous brand of microprocessor boards. They are prevent the software open source. And the boards, you pay for that. And yeah, also the boards are more expensive than in China, for example, but they're more friendly to begin, and you can't shorten them. They have more options in it, and you can reach more purpose with them. So that's why they are a little bit more expensive than the boards I use. I use a board, it's an ESP board, and you have two variants of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an ESP32, and you have ESP8866. So
ESP, is this a different thing?
Yeah,
or?
no, it's the same ESPs.
Yeah.
They look different, but they are almost the same. There are little differences. One has, for example, has also a Bluetooth module on it, and that's the bigger one. That's the difference. They both have a Wi-Fi on it, so you can make a Wi-Fi connection if you would like. But for this first tutorial, the 1.5 meter, we will don't need that. So we will only need the two eyes here, the ultrasonic range distance meter. I will ask Nick to connect it to this
Which
frame.
One?
I have
the big one?
Yeah,
All right.
the big one.
There we go.
And we connect it to my computer, and I've always installed the library. Wait a minute. I have to see
red light
which
turning
one.
on.
This one here, 1.5 meter. Yeah. I installed the library, the program, the software from Arduino IDE, and that's a software where you can put your code on, and the code is the software that's running on an ESP microprocessor. It's not like a computer, a full computer, a Raspberry Pi, maybe you've heard of it. Then you can install a complete operating system on it. Mm-hmm. But the ESP is only for one piece of code, and that's running then. So ESPs are great tools for programming robots or simple functions. And
great quote over here, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Innovation is embracing change and making meaningful use of it for a better future.
Ah, great.
That's
great. Yeah, that's where things start, I think.
There we are. So now everyone can see it.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
So let me stop sharing that screen. And there's another screen, huh? So you are on a different screen right now.
Yes.
I'm going to find it. It's probably this one.
Don't be scared when you see it. I'm sorry. Oh, that's another one.
No, it's the other one. There's so.
Can I don't think I shared this one. Could it be?
Yeah, you can. I think. Yeah. By share screen. Yeah.
Share screen.
Mm-hmm. So the Arduino one, yeah.
Yeah, I need the Arduino, this one here.
Cool.
Don't be scared so much, you will see some code now. This is the code an Arduino needs to function, and also the code to do what I want to do with it.
Mhm.
I can tell you, I'm not a programmer. I'm a creative guy, and I like code, but I'm not a very practical guy with code. I copy and paste a lot from what other people do, and tweak it. So it's my thing. The thing I need.
Yeah.
For my purpose.
So there's a lot of open source code you can use.
Yeah, there's very wide range of open source code you can use. So what you need is an ESP or an Arduino processor. You need a micro USB cable, and you need the Arduino IDE software. And till so far, it's a few dollars to have.
So the only thing with the difference between Arduino and ESP is that Arduino is like a very known brand.
Yeah, it's a brand. Yeah, and it has boards that are more expanded with functions. Okay. So that's
they're smart with creating boards.
Yeah. But they're mostly much bigger. So yeah, in most cases, you have some small versions of it, but that's the nice thing of the parts I buy in China. So
let's get started, Roel.
Nick has some wires for it. Yeah, I have some wires here because it's very the colors are brighter for the camera.
Yeah.
So we have our I have to see. Can I see?
Okay.
I have to have the ultrasonic range distance sensor, and we have the.
So you normally do that. You stick them on.
Yes. The sensor has 4 ports. Yeah, 4 pins. You have a G and D pin. You have a ground. It's called ground. G and D is a ground. And you have a VCC. That's the voltage pin. And an echo and a trigger. And maybe you can conclude yourself with the echo and the trigger. The trigger is the signal, the ultrasonic signal that sends. And the echo is the one who receives the distance back, and the signal back.
Yeah.
And then it can calculate the distance. And the calculation we can have influence on the calculation. So what my purpose is with this thing is that we can calculate the distance, and that we can see when it's 1.5 meters.
Yeah, that would be nice for us. For us as well. We can test it here.
Probably this is
too close.
Yeah, it's gonna be. And so
we are colleagues. So we see each other so much that you are tested.
Yeah, and I'm tested also. Yeah. So we do it with this way. For your amusement, take a risk.
Is it important to look at the colors by sticking them on?
Yeah, because we're gonna stick the colors to the board.
Yeah.
And therefore you have to know which pin on the board has to go.
Yeah.
Now the boards, and therefore I had a nice webcam on my phone, but it's not working because I can't share the devices between each other here because of the network
firewall.
And maybe you can see it a little bit. There's a little description on the boards. You can see the names on it. Little descriptions with all the pins. Yeah, and all these pins mean something. But you also find a few 2 pins on the distance sensor that are also on the board. So there is a ground, G and D thing, and there is a VCC pin. So you can search for them for the pins G and D and VCC, and those 2 must connect it.
Oh, they're over there.
There,
G and D, yeah.
Great. So the G and D pin from the ultrasonic sensor connects to the G and D from the processor.
Here is the upper one. This one.
Yeah. The outside.
So how can I connect these? Can stick them in?
Oh, I'm sorry. You have nice to see. Nick has one processor with
Yeah, like is it a male
little
or is it a female?
males,
Male.
and here's one
It's a
with
female.
holes in it. It's female, so we need other pins. So here I have one for you. It's for the pins. Right.
We're going to use this one, the ESP, okay? But you can also use your Arduino.
You can use it. Yeah.
Aha.
You can
So
use both. They do
fine.
the same.
They do the same. Okay, the
And
blue one is ground.
Yeah, I remember the blue one was ground and the orange one was the VCC. So
Yeah, I
those
see.
you can connect.
Yeah, so I have to find it over here.
And
second
in the
one,
meantime, Nick does this. I can. Oh, I have to stream. I can show you. Maybe.
you want to make it bigger? People can watch it on full screen.
Yeah, that's sure. You can show here, see here, sorry, that I have 2 pins defined, a trig pin and an echo pin. So those 2 pins I'm going to talk to. So that's the code. Then I have defined a LED, and the LED is the one who blinks at the moment that Nick is 1.5 meter distance from me or closer. It will blink fast then, and I have built in a sort of security, sort of warning that between 1.5 meters and 2 meters it blink slow. So then you are warned, and after that, are you being closer, then you get a faster LED blinking.
I see a VCC over here, but I only see like VIN over here.
Yes, it's also the same. One is less voltage, but you can use the VIN or the 3.3 voltage.
3.3.
Yeah, there is also 3.3 voltage. There are 2 voltage.
You know them out of your head.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter right now for this one, I know. But some of the sensors are voltage dependent. So if you do 5 volts, it could break your sensor. In this case, I know it's not a problem, and most sensors, but you always have to be a little careful. That's the point with the brand Arduino. Then it's regulated, and it's probably a safe thing.
Yeah.
Okay, he has connected the 3.3 and the VCC and GND ground pins. So you have to trust him on that. Then we have a trigger pin on 4. So the trigger, and then you have to read on the. Can you see it here? See your trigs and echo. Yeah, the pins. Okay. So the trig pin is on 4, and so you have to see, and the trig pin is the yellow one. Yellow one has to be on D4. So search for D4 in the 40 pins that you can choose from.
That's it, D4.
D4, great. And the other one, echo, is pin 5. D5 is 2 pins.
Oh, it's
further,
right.
I think.
Yeah, it's right next to the other ones. It seems. So
it must be 2 between them. Yeah. D4 and D5.
Oh, it's D15.
15. No, D4. Yeah. That's the wrong one.
D4 I have correct, but D5, let me search for that one.
I think
there.
2 pins away.
Yeah, it's on the right, but it's actually 1, 2, 3 pins away.
Yeah.
There we go. 1, 2, 3.
Those pins you can define yourself, and most pins can do the same. Most pins of it. Don't explain which pin because that's too big story, but the most pins you can put voltage on or not. That's the thing they can do, and that's the whole thing the microprocessor can do. He can count for you, and he can put pins on and off, and that's it's mainly the function of things, and the way it goes on and off, the way it counts. Yeah, that's on your code, based on your code. All right, then we go connected, and it won't do anything right now because simply we don't have code on it.
No, it's hardware.
Yeah, it's not. There's nothing on it. It's empty. So we have to put this code on it, and
okay. So
let me show you. Yeah, that's great. Okay, I connected it with my computer, and therefore I my computer choose a board, the ESP32. Normally in these sessions, I will explain how to connect this thing and choose the right library. But I think it's not that entertaining to do. But right now, only if you do it yourself and you can do it with us in this workshop. For a long story short, I will show you. You have the Arduino library, and there you have preferences. And in the preferences, you can give a link that you can get from every Arduino website you find for different boards. It's a JSON link, and this will cause that your Arduino gets all the oh, you can't see this. That you can load all your boards on your computer, and we need a library for the ESP. So I have a link to all the ESP ports there are, and now it's included in the software. Yeah, that's what the link does in the preferences.
So you can actually find the database.
He find the database of, because there are so many boards. There are 1 million boards, and for every board there's a specific way to. So it's not possible to have every driver on your PC. Only in Windows it's possible. That's why you have to install it for many hours. For the drivers, it has included, and this is only for one driver, and that makes it very easy to handle. So you need a link for the libraries from your boards, and if the computer finds your board, you can have a module. You can't see. Maybe I have to see my screen now.
Yeah, you can share the whole screen if you want.
Yeah, I share the whole screen because you can't see my pop-ups, and that's not what we want. So I share the whole screen now. Entire screen. Share. Here we are. Great. Nickel. Yeah. Okay, that's perfect.
Now we can see everything.
Now you can see everything. Yeah. Okay. So here was the preferences, and here I put a link, and we have a folder where the scripts are. And so I can put there my own stuff, put it in here in this folder, then it will be found by the Arduino software. Okay, we have a sketch, and the sketch is a file with code that's called a sketch. Then we have the tools, and in the tools you can find your board. So this will appear when you have installed your good library from your hardware. So I found here a lot of, you see, all the Arduino boards is included by default. The Arduino is it's from Arduino brand, so the Arduinos are by default loaded by default. And here beneath the divider line, we have the ESPs, and I choose the ESP32 module. Then I can see my port. It's important too. By most Windows, Microsoft computers, it's called port or COM ports. With the Mac, it's more complicated. You need sometimes you need some drivers for it. Also, you can find that in a lot of fora. But maybe you can let me know if you have a problem with that. I know the links, but mostly modern Macs will recognize it mostly. But when you have specific boards, maybe that's a problem. Okay, I have USB port connected. He's seeing my ESP32 boot loader, and I can now sort of compile my code. And compiling is sort of compressing the code till one package. Okay. So yeah, you know, a zip file, something like that.
All right.
But also the compiler controls and checks your code. So if there are syntax problems and you have forgotten a semicolon or whatever, it checks also and says, "Hey, I can't show you this," and that's to prevent a problem on your board. So if it's good to compile and to check, to verify the code before you upload, because you can't recover your board. It's not possible just like a computer to go on it. Yeah, it's possible, but then you are a hardware guy who knows exactly how to do it.
Okay.
But, so if you make mistakes, and the mistakes is from that part that it blocks your processor, then it's not possible to recover anymore.
You buy a new one.
Yeah, unless you know how to get in there. So
is it like the motherboard? They say if
yeah,
the motherboard is broken, you have a problem.
Maybe it's blocked then. You code blocked something because you USB.
Like the blue screen that we have.
Yeah, the blue screen. The blue screen. Yeah, it's a nice comparison. So after that, my code is good. I don't have red lines here. Other thing you can find here is libraries. Some specific. You see an include here. Some specific libraries are needed for specific sensors, for drivers, for so that's why the start level for Arduinos is a little higher than, for example, a normal tablet or game or app. Or you have to dive in a little bit.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why I do this with kids and because it takes away the cold water fear.
Yeah.
How you call it? Yeah,
the cold water fear. That's a great
cold
translation.
water fear. Yeah. It's and then I can do this. Okay, it's all right. I know how
it's like learning a new language.
Yeah, kind of. So it's time to upload. So we're gonna upload this code to the processor, and that's this button for. And then we go uploading. I will transform my screen a little bit. So you see here's a lot of matrix language coming up. And I have to see if I have to push the boot button. No, it's doing it by themselves. You see here the percentage. And you see now it's loading.
Oh, really?
And it's on it.
Okay, it starts to produce code. Like you don't have to type anymore.
Can we see this, Nick? I don't know.
There's the camera.
Yeah, but I think my wire is too short. So we go, and that's the nice thing of Arduino.
Yeah,
I can plug out
anyone
the thing, put in a new. Yeah, you can see the blink now, huh? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's great. I pointing now in almost nowhere. You see blinking is very fast. It's almost out now. There's Nick. You see blinking fast. And now it's blinking. I think the ceiling is 2 meters away from here.
Yeah. So it's any object, or
look, now it stops. I point to another way where it's at most 3 meters away, and sometimes you see a blink, but it can be a reflection from it.
Yeah. So it's set up to recognize 2 meters or less.
All the public now, it's in our range of 1.5 meters. You see, you have to move your couch now.
But how do you have to point it? Is it like going this angle?
Yeah, it's a right angle. It sends ultrasonic sound, so it will straight on. It will a straight thing.
No going down and up.
No,
anywhere.
No. So it's not the most accurate meter there is. It's a start to measure things. And I have another tool with this, and the only difference is a little bit of code. And I connected a speaker with it.
Okay.
And then you get this, and you see
you can play like ouch.
Now you can make an instrument of it, a little instrument, techie instrument. You see the speaker here, and for the rest you have the ultrasonic eyes. And the Arduino or the ESP, and if I connect them with another script, don't show how to do that, but you can do that yourself.
Beep, beep, beep. That's
Now,
the Star Wars.
put your hand on it, Nick. Can you put your hand closer? Don't know what. Oh, my. Oh, my cables are out. Yeah. Oh. There's a cable that won't fit. I'm sorry. And I pointed to Nick. We didn't practice this. Closer, Nick. With your whole. Yeah, and a little back. Little back, little to it. Yeah, we have to work on the composition of the music. But I hope you can hear it.
Whoa.
Maybe you've heard from the instrument, it's called a theremin. And it was an electronic sound with electronic waves, and it was an instrument with electronic waves in the early days.
Yeah.
And this is a sort of inspiration from it. And so you heard it. It's not good music, but it has the same components, almost the same components as the one we built. So with the same sensors, you can do a lot more than one thing.
It's just 6 cables, right?
Yeah, 6 cables.
So it's just 2 extra
Yeah, there's
cables.
a speaker with it, and a piece of code from to get the tone. So you need a new library in that.
That the tone was like so different.
Yeah. It's a range from tones, from computer tones.
But is it like you set up like 1 centimeter to a 10 centimeter this sound?
Yeah.
And then 10 to 20?
Yeah.
So you can set that up.
You can set it up. You can make I can
So
show
if the
you.
data says, oh, it's 20 centimeter, you will play a sound.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you get closer very fastly, and then it's like switching to the other sound fast.
Yeah. You can see it. I have it in yellow here. You can see it. Here is it calculating the distance. Dus you have a duration, and the duration is the time that needs to reflect on an object. And there's a calculation for that. And in this case, it's 0.3.4/2. It's a calculation. I, as a creative guy, don't know exactly how to, but that's my shorten
It's not
problem.
your language,
Not
huh?
language. No. I'm sorry. I know that it works. And here I can say, if the distance is less than 150, do a light. So highlight.
Yeah.
In this case, highlight, that was the 1.5 meter.
Yeah.
But it can always also be a tone, play that tone. If I am 1.5 meter and bigger, till 2 meters, flash also the light, but then slower. Yeah. And so on, and else, is there no distance, measured no distance, then there's no light flashing. So
and no sound, right?
In this case, no sound. So I can play with the distance and connect from the distance values, connect something it can do. It can flash something, or it can play a sound, or whatever.
Can you put like game over on this sound? Like, oh, you're within 1.5 meter, game over.
Yeah, and then you need a music file.
Okay.
So you can connect a music file if you like.
Is it possible on this thing, or do you need a different thing like this?
I think I need a different library for that, because it has to carry a file.
And this one doesn't carry any.
No, this one has only computer sound.
And this
what
hardware
I like.
is wearing like this music.
So
yeah, this is
this is only the speaker.
Yeah.
So it puts the
it's just like a tilt thingy to create sound. Or how is this speaker working actually?
Just a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Resonance. Just every speaker in your home.
Yeah,
is
but we
working.
never had that on our school.
Okay. Yeah. I built them myself. Now speakers are little. You put some voltage in it, in a plus and a minus, and it's a spool. How you call it? A wire. Yeah. I don't know the technical term in English. I'm sorry. And a magnet. And there's a small plate on it, very thin, and because of the voltage and the magnetism, it will
elevate
a little bit, tilt a little bit,
Mhm.
and it pushes our. That's very difficult to explain.
Radio waves?
No, it's not radio. Yeah, radio are waves too, but out of frequency. But the sound waves is moving air, and with little vibration. And the more it vibrates, the lower the sound is. The higher frequency, the higher the sound is. So this causes a wave in the air, and that's what we hear in our ears. Our ears are also a sort of
receiver now.
They receive our waves, our
the
our
echo.
vibes.
Is it the echo?
Yes, yeah, sort of echo, a vibe.
Mhm.
They receive them, and that's what we recognize as a sound.
Yeah.
So that's a speaker, but the speaker is something very basic from.
So you have to add a file, like an MP3 file, to the board, or you do need to extra a sensor or something.
In this case, I can show it. Just a moment.
Would be nice. So kids walking on the street, and then they are coming too close, and they will say like "game over."
Yeah, that's. Look here. Here's the code, and it looks almost the same. I have a playing pin now, and the playing pin and the right tone pin. It's a frequency. It's called. Mm-hmm. And here you can see. Can you make it bigger, Nick? Again, screen, full screen for now.
Full screen.
Yeah, or this one. Okay, you can see here the same counting as you saw in the 1.5 meter. Mm-hmm. But now there's no if 1.5 meter is it away or below or above 1.5 meter. But now you can see if the LED white tone is 0, distance is multiply with 40. Then play the tone. Just play a tone multiplied by 40. Yeah. But the distance is always changing, because this changed. The distance is changing, so the value from distance also. Yeah. And then it chooses a sort of tone from a computer tone, and it's nothing more like a vibration in the software.
It's choosing a color is like choosing a tone.
Yeah, for example,
tone 1 to 100,000.
Yeah, and in this case, it's like a speaker that converts the binary data.
How many tones are there? Like you have 16 million colors.
It's a bit system, eh? So multiply 8. Yeah, 1 bit, 8 bit, 1 byte, 8 bit, and it's 8 bit, and then you have 16 bit. 44-bit, and so
32 and 64.
64. Yeah, it's
128 bits.
And that's with colors. The basic web colors are the same built from bits, but now the software is developed, so there are more colors to make with other systems. But in base, it's also I can show you. Yeah, I cannot show you the real light, but this is my best example. Maybe you see here two shiny things that are lights, and what this thing does, it's on a solar panel. There's no solar here. I'm sorry, so it doesn't work.
No sunlight anymore.
Sunlight, so it doesn't work now. Mm-hmm. But they flash on and on. So left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. If there's power on, and I like this one because this is a very old electronic piece.
Yeah.
Very simple. It's with 2 transistors and 2 condensators, and if the light is on, there's no power on it. So then the power drops too low, and then the other one goes on. And that's maybe hard to understand, but what does this mean? If the light's on while there's no power on it, that we call memory. So this is mainly 1 byte of memory, the first byte of memory, but not
byte turned into a light.
Yeah, and millions of this piece are on our phones now today, and it's called memory. And we have how many? 64 gigabyte.
Yeah.
And it's a lot.
256 sometimes even. Yeah.
So that's a little bit the answer on what you ask about sound. How it's made the sounds. It's a bit and many bits in very ways behind each other is some tone. So that's also how color can be defined. If you connect those algorithm from on off each other, and you put a screen on it, it's a color.
Okay.
And so that's how computers are built a little bit. Yeah. So this is what the flip-flop, it's called flip-flop, is my example to illustrate how our memory in our phones work. And by that,
and it's also our memory in our brains.
It's maybe but you cannot put it out.
One place to another,
Here you can put power off, and it's gone.
When they say the singularity is near, they say the singularity in 2027, when the speed in our brains, from like our electrons in our brains, are outcompeted by computers for the first time.
Yeah.
So that's where we are heading towards.
It's crazy. And the only thing we did past 50 years, it's not completely true what I'm now saying, but it's a nice comparison. Yeah. The only thing what we did is this thing made so small that you can't see it. I know people that are they do research
we cannot really see our neurons in our...
It's too small now.
Too small.
In a chip, there are billions of this piece in it, so it has a lot of memory.
Yeah.
And the problem now is the space between the parts. It's the vacuum. Can we use that space too? That's research now.
That's how they're lasering now.
Yeah, and that's what I do with kids to learn soldering and to make their first electronic piece. It's the first bit of memory. 8 of these parts is 1 letter on your screen, because it's 8 byte. It's 1 byte, 8 bit.
Yeah.
And that's 8 of these things, and then you have 1 letter on your screen. Now, watch to your screen what you have all icons and colors, and so there's a lot of memory need for that.
So you needed a big computer, if it used to be like this size. This size to be 1 bit back in the days.
Yeah, and we controlling bits and bytes, and that's what we do if we work with computers.
Transistors. You needed so much transistors.
2 transistors, that's the black points here, and the other ones are resistors, and resistors are necessary for protecting the hardware, the lights, because otherwise the power could be too high.
You have detectors and you have guards.
Yeah, exactly.
For the castle. They have to be in balance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's what I like, for example, to end with this, with our light, shoe light. Here's, okay. That's the green one. Yeah, we can see it. Here's the green one. Here's the red one and the blue one. And you see one light having 3 different colors. But in main, there are 3 different LEDs in it. And the one shines brighter than the other one. And that's why our eye makes a different color from it, and also that
RGB,
it's mostly one LED is 3 bytes in that case.
But it's
It's
actually
bits.
only 3 colors that we use still for it. Eh? And
RGB. Yeah.
Red, green, and blue.
Yeah. Because all of them on is white.
Yeah.
And all of them off is nothing, is black. So that's also how screens work. And your LED TV, and it's all little dots from connected to
colors,
three colors. And that's how we arrange colors. And yeah, you can compare that with bits and bytes. And
now you see lately we see different colors being used for the websites and layouts and stuff. And like we have our brand of Campus Party is also different like colors that we never used before. Like a trend back in the 70s, you had such a color clothing, and now we have it again. Will it ever be more than 3 lights RGB? You also have the CMYK, something like that?
Yeah, it depends on our devices. At the moment, our devices are limited to 3 colors, and our eyes too.
Okay.
Our eyes are. We can see a lot of range. We have the technical light, and that's what screens are. And then we have the light in our environment, and the light in our environment is much bigger. So we can feel infrared, ultraviolet light. We can't see it, but we can feel it in the warmth of light. In the way we see a screen is another. We experience the light of a screen on another way than
they say a light of a screen is very addictive.
Yeah, it's sending light.
You up.
It's sending light.
So the light sucks you up. Yeah. Is it something like it's our inner feeling that if there's sun, we have to head to the sun?
Yeah.
Is it the same? Like you have a tablet and you give it a kid of 1 year old, like it's shiny tablet, and then you're like, I love it, and they're sucked into that screen.
Maybe something like gold or silver or some shiny
objects.
But it sends light out, and if you read a book, it reflects light. That's the difference, and that's mainly the difference between that reading is in most cases less exhausted in a book than on a screen. On a screen,
I have the other way.
So I know.
For me,
the millennial screens has been better in the last year. You can dim them. You can. I can put a light on my. Yeah, it's optimized.
So we know which colors we can resist for a long time.
Yeah, and the last few years, phones have in the night. They have a sort of night
like twilight.
Model. Yeah, and it filters out the blue light, and the blue light is what we have mostly on bright days. Yeah. And that's why we active and not fall asleep on a bright day. The missing part of that is in the night. So we it triggers our fatigue. You call it. So that's the part of the light. And
so we have tested this now with the sound and the 1.5 meter. Now you have some more stuff over here. Can you explain a little bit about that before we wrap up the session?
Yeah.
It's now 9 o'clock.
Yeah, can we? Yeah. Okay. It's all we're talking.
Yeah. We
let me talk and ask good questions. So great. I can tell you something about this one. Besides the light, I showed you the microprocessor, and this one we used for the 1.5 meter. We put only a piece of code on it. Yeah, it was only code, one script.
Yeah,
and it did one thing. For the light, for brighten the lights, it was necessary to have a script to brighten the light. Yeah.
So you see that we are instructing.
Yeah. You see the brightening of the light. That's important. So you have to steer the light wheel with lights. You have to connect a Wi-Fi spot. So you have some server,
you create your Wi-Fi hotspot.
You create a Wi-Fi hotspot, and you have to make something like a web page where you can control it. Yeah. So there are 3 things, and therefore you need files to put on.
So first, we had everything manual. We didn't have the Wi-Fi in between.
No.
Was the Wi-Fi too expensive back in the days?
Back in days, it was not that simple, because there were protocols and securities, and
so the
if that's what you mean.
Yeah. So in the machines in all the factories, still like offline running, and now more and more online.
The risk. This is open, so everyone here in this building can connect with it if they know the code. But get a code from a Wi-Fi connection is mostly.
It's like the code that is written on that one, that unique thing.
Yeah,
that thing here has a code.
Yeah.
All electronics, all sensors have a code or not?
Yeah,
like this one?
No. Only computers have an IP address. It's one of dedicated to that piece of hardware.
And that one?
And this one doesn't have an IP address. Processors don't have an IP address. Only if you give them, you can give it to them. But they have something like you call the MAC address. It's a processor address. But mostly
it's on all the hardware in the world.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
So
if it has a connection hardware in it.
Yeah. So we can detect it, and we can
but it's not all the hardware. It's not in this.
Okay.
Because there's no computer in it. There's no
this one
processor.
doesn't do anything.
Every processor has.
The processor can be the computer, and the AI that's going to kill us as a Terminator.
Yeah.
So the processor we have to find, but the lights of the processor we don't have to find.
No. Till now they do only what we ask them to do. So if we can stay with that, and we can feel comfortable with that, stay there. And ask them only things to do that you can put out and where you can plug the power off. That's my advice.
Yeah. So people creating AI, they still want to have a switch. An old-fashioned switch.
Yeah, exactly. But the main thing from this is that this is maybe 5 centimeters in diameter. The costs are €3, €4, and I can make a complete web access point with a website, and so you see how reachable this mainly
accessible for everyone.
Accessible technique is now. That's the thing. It's fascinating for me, and that's
you've been working on this. Like, how was it? How expensive was it? Like 5 years ago?
It was my helicopter, my drone.
The drone flew away.
Here he is. I because it's like nice to end with this, and that's the part where I began the session. This piece, there's the hardware in it, and it has no Wi-Fi and etc. But there are also sensors in it who detect my hand, and it has programming in it.
Is it like this sensor?
Not too high. It's sort of it's infrared, but you can do the same with it. Yeah, but infrared is there something. It's not how far is it away from me, and that's how.
This is a more sophisticated sensor. Then. It's like the bat.
It's another sensor.
It's like the bats that we have. The animal, the bat. Has this sensor in his skin.
Maybe we can make an animal park of it.
We can create a bat.
We can connect some motors. I made something, and maybe I can show that as an ending on my website. It's just have a look. I have to share the thing here. If I go to my website, the CreativeHubs, then I have done a project with a sort of swarm bots. I was interested, can I make something with swarms and little robots? It was a start to begin with.
Maybe stop sharing the other screen, the Arduino, on this computer. Yeah. And then I go back to the StreamYard one on this computer. Yeah, and share that. Share the other one, the other tab, or didn't we?
Yeah, this one on the.
You can.
Here it is.
That one. All right.
Yeah, here it is. You can see it now.
I'll put it on screen. There we go.
Yes, that's the one. So I started with some batteries and a few paperclip and 2 batteries from 2
Tilt.
not tilt, no, vibrating sensor motors.
Yeah.
The same as you have in your phone when your phone is vibrating.
Yeah.
That's the same. Then you see here it's a little bit the same as you saw in the Wi-Fi shoe. It's the control, and I thought it would be nice to make a sort of robot, a small robot with vibrating motors in it. A motor controller, such the same as an ESP.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, it's very small. I 3D printed some case around it, and I made a few with a battery, LiPo battery. And at the end, no, not at the end, I made like this. And yeah, they are getting some interaction with each other. They're pulling each other away, and I don't know why they do. They vibrating, and that's their way of moving.
They are living robots now.
Yeah, living robots.
Your family.
Okay, here you have the lights, some fun with it, and at the end I put some together. Oh, I have to put this out, the noise. So let's see you. Can you see what's in the end? Here there's the advanced version, and I can steer them with my hand. So they have all their own lights.
Yeah.
And I was interested if I could control them as a swarm in one
in a
move.
maze.
In a maze.
And
so
who,
that's
who
the fun.
Who of the robots won? Huh? What did they have to do?
I don't know.
They have to find the cheese.
Maybe I have to put them in the wild and have to. Yeah. But I have to make it that they can reload themselves.
It's like Albert Dreisma or something.
The
guy is creating paperclip robots.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, he does that with small robots too. And, I like to develop these things that lead to nothing or to many things. But I can tell you that the basic stuff is exactly the same I use for this tutorials.
Yeah. So you're trying out new sensors every day.
Yeah. For example.
So these things, if you can create stuff, I think you start to become creative. So while we learn from books and never have to touch stuff and experiment in books, and we just think, oh, this is a fact. So yeah, that's it. We probably are starting to look at social media and just stop getting any creative at all, because we just think things are facts and we don't research it anymore.
No.
But once you start with this creation, I think you get more curious day by day, like, oh, I created this, but if this, then maybe that is also possible.
Yeah. You see a lot of the most kids are very curious by themselves.
Yeah,
and they're not scared for tech. But after a few years on school and with parents who say, "Oh, tech, it's not for me, not my kind of piece," they get scared too, and then they don't try, and their curiosity is gone. But they buy this, and they have a phone in their pocket.
Yeah.
And they can do all with their phone, but they don't know how that works.
Yeah.
And not for everyone it's necessary to know how phones work. But if we want to discuss
in our future,
safety, if we want to discuss the future of robots, then we have to learn a little bit about how computers. We can't blank out how computers work. Because iPads and tablets and all the stuff, it works. We don't have to ask how it works because it always works.
It's done for us.
It's done for us.
Now you are born and you get a device in your hand and you use it.
Yeah.
And it's all, that's the webcam.
Great. You can see it here.
And it's all done. So we are not getting any curious anymore about how it's built. So I think we need more of these online sessions and workshops on how to create stuff. Like this could be so useful and nice now. And when children are on the streets, when adults are on the streets, it's really awkward to say, oh, get out of my way because it's not 1.5 meters. But you can make it more fun and exciting to have a flashy light, like the happy
Yeah,
face that you
yeah,
have over
yeah,
there,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and a sad face.
Yeah.
So sad when you're too close, and happy when you're far enough away. It's a different interaction, and it makes it so much more fun.
That's the point. I hope people will go further with this.
Yeah.
Because that's how I created this.
You don't want to create a factory line of this.
You
but
can
want to explain it to people
you
so they
have
can do it
that
themselves.
piece of code. You have that piece of code now. You can download it from my website, but you can mix them together. So you can mix the Wi-Fi shoe with the code from the 1.5 meter.
Yeah, instead of the sound, you want to use light for the next.
Yeah, and you can develop the sounds on it. There are a lot of possibilities you can do, and you don't have to find out yet yourself. You can Google it, and there's a lot of tutorials about this. Always try to put the word Arduino or ESP in it, and you will find code, and you find wonderful solutions for things you never thought you would find from people who have done it, and then you can put your own.
If you want to touch like the door handle, and you just want to know if that's touched by someone that had dirty hands or something, and how many people have touched it. So just putting something on it and then turning the handle into red. Oh, you cannot touch it, it's dirty. And turning it into blue,
someone touched it. You can count if someone touched it. And that's a little sad, but I've never have never received it. But we had this meter, this distance meter, but I ordered a meter. There's a sensor who can measure your temperature from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
So I can point it on you, and you see it in many devices. It has been used, but that are devices produced in a factory with some nice shiny form on it, and we don't know how it's work and what's measuring, and that's where my curiosity starts.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to have such sensor myself and want to try what's like. So I'm waiting now for a sensor that measures temperature from a distance, and it's not hard to connect.
A sad face when someone is sick.
For example,
is ill, is having a fever.
And maybe, and then he gets a hug from me because I think he needs it more than my distance.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, so, you get sick then.
Yeah.
So we end up with a little drone. Oh, you have to be fast for it.
Because it
flies away when you are coming closer.
We like to see it on the camera. We don't.
Oh, it blows away.
Yeah.
A bag. Nice. It's a strong motor. Woohoo! Whoa!
Can crash too.
It's a jumping jack.
Yeah. It can make flashes. So thank you. Let us know if you enjoyed this show. If their show have been watched by anyone. I don't know.
I saw a lot of people watching. If there's still questions, let us know. At the moment, 1, but I saw 5 and 7 at some point. So a live stream. You have people popping in and going away.
Yeah, great.
In a room, it's a little bit harder and awkward to walk away. So that's the freedom of the feed of the people. So if there's any questions to Raoul, leave them in the live chat if you can. So we can answer those. He can answer them, and let's see if there's still some questions. I'm curious now about all of electronics, and is there something that I can think of? This.
Yes, that's one I showed you.
Oh, that's the first bit.
Yeah, that's with
the first bit.
The first bit. Yes.
The little bag and everything in it.
I use it to solder with kids.
Yeah,
they can learn. Kids, older kids. I think from 10, 12 years. It's nice. I did it with my son. He's 8.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be careful because it's hot, and it's not always logic where they put the solder on iron.
So I think we are going to wrap up here.
Yeah, great.
If there's anyone that wants to link with Raoul, the website is full of really cool stuff. So let's share that one It's CreativeHubs.nl, right?
Yeah, right.
And people can just right-click and translate it to English, as I just showed you. They will find it. Yeah, it will automatically redirect them. So please give it a try. Start.
Thank you.
Trying to build your own technology.
Yeah, Nick, thank you for your
I need it too.
Sidekick. It was great. Thank you.
I need to start doing this too.
Yeah.
I think it's very hard to think of something right now, but because I have so much ideas. Like I just shared, like the handle. If the handle was showing me that there is a virus on it, or there's 10 people have touched this, and there's so much stuff that you can think of, and I think you get more curious. And you have to watch the time, and then we need a universal basic income to get rolling on creative stuff.
Yeah, when you only start with this, when you started with this, and you try things yourself, you get Googling to scripts, then you find a lot of inspiration about things you never thought of, and think, and then that's how my brain works as a creative guy. It finds all solutions together and makes it. And
so your house is probably smart now.
No, it's not. No, that's boring. I think my own house.
Oh, really? You didn't change the house into a smart house? Everything is controllable by a shoe or whatever.
No, it's working fine, and I love to close the curtains with my own hands.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. But I have all the smart tools on my ceiling. Yeah, I have all stuff, but I don't use it now.
Is it because of you, or is it because of the family?
That's because of me.
Okay.
And that's because
you don't want to create the smartest house in the world.
That's not my purpose, and my purpose is to make people enthusiastic, to make people happy about it, and to make people look around, to make people aware of this technique that's everywhere. Because I know people who have curtains who do it automatically, and lights go on and stuff, and you know, the controller of the whole stuff in house is from a great company who collects all the data of when you do on your lights, and when the ceiling is closed, when the
back
curtains
in the
are
days
closed.
they didn't, but now they do.
They do,
it's a new goal.
and nobody asks, you know. And if you build this, you can start ask questions to yourself. What do I need for this? And is it necessary to follow me if I?
Or at least you can collect the data for yourself and then keep it to yourself.
Okay, so it's okay too. But if you don't build this and you do you buy everything with IKEA, it's great stuff for home automation. It's super, and Philips, and you call it, you name it. But we have to ask ourselves, what do we give away, and what could be the purpose and the value of the data we're sharing,
the benefit for them.
And now we think it's innocent and it's not a word, but if they can track patterns in our life, then they can also get to conclusions we never thought it would be harm to us in our lives. And you see it now in the data from social media and stuff, things we never thought it would harm us, but now social security is checking, insurance companies are checking, and
So what do you think? Well, I have no issues with my privacy, but I have never been in a war.
No.
So I think it's so far away from me to think that it will hurt me, because I've never had a situation where it did.
Yeah, for example, your lights at home and your curtains are closed on a daytime.
Yeah, my lights are going on in the morning at 7, and are going off at 9 in the evening when the sun is
but
down.
that's normal. But maybe it's abnormal for time, and nobody knows how.
Yeah.
But Philips or IKEA know, or your energy company, they see. So they connect with the insurance company.
Yeah. Well,
or the insurance company connect with them, because you give a claim about health. You need an insurance for that. There is something with you, and but they don't. It's not necessary to know what's going on with you. You have a claim, and that's where the reason why you're insured, and they have to believe it. But they're gonna do research, and from the way the pattern, the changing pattern in your lights and your curtains, they could conclude something
your home
that could harm you and that's good if maybe, but it happens already, and that's the strange.
Okay, so if you are saying like, okay, I'm putting a claim, my phone is broken on my holidays, and then the insurance company says, no, you turned on the lights at home at the day that you reported that your phone was broken in France.
Yeah.
So you're not going to pay out because we know you're at home.
Yeah. So it's very preventive in become a criminal.
Yeah, it is.
And to lift someone on. But everything could be connected. So everything could be concluded by companies, and you don't expect it when you turn on your lights automatically and say, "Oh, that's cool, man."
Yeah. I'm really curious what people take on this is. What is your take on privacy with a smart home? Smart home, like with your lights.
This is your last session, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, great.
So I'm really curious. Like, what are people thinking of privacy right now? I don't know who's watching, but there are 3 people watching. If you can leave a comment in the chat who you are, and if you have an opinion about privacy and hardware and software tracking you all over the place, making my life more convenient. Like, I wake up and I have my lights on without having to think about it. And then I come home and it turns dark outside, and I don't even have to walk to click on the switch to turn the lights on, because Philips already does it for me. It's so convenient. So what do you think about that? What is your opinion on that? Does it scares you? Yeah, you will never buy a Philips Hue that is doing that automatically for you, or does it make your life so much more convenient that you don't even care about the privacy? I'm really curious. If you want to reply to that, I'm really curious about you. I think it makes my life so much more convenient. So
that's the main goal for it. But there's some small part of it
in the back end,
and that's good. There's nothing wrong with it.
So you have no smart things in your house?
I have. Sure. My refrigerator do something smart, little bit. Not connected to the stores, but it can be in temperature right, and if there are more in, then it knows it has to be regulated fridge? A little bit.
The smart fridge, the walking fridge as well?
No, not the walking. No. That's for the beer. So
that would be so nice. Huh? The walking fridge. That would be great, right? It makes your life so much more convenient.
Yeah. Probably.
But your fridge is ordering milk when it's empty.
No, that's not the part at this moment. But I heard I can put in a module that can. So that's possible.
You put Alexa in your fridge, and Alexa will order your milk
part of it.
you.
But I have some Google smart home things.
Okay, you go for
so
Google.
I know how the stuff works, and but that's my point. It's great. We can use this, and it makes our life great. But we also have to, if we don't know how stuff works a little bit in great lines, we don't ask ourselves questions about security, and we can't ask these questions. If we know something about it, we can ask a little bit here, and we can ask the factories to have it secure, and not when it's too late.
So we can still demand that from the factories, like, we want to know where our data is going to. So that's like with the regulations on GDPR. That's finally a step forward. That we as consumers have a choice.
But we did it in the early days with our consumer rights or equality in man and woman in Holland. It was everywhere in the world. It was a problem, and that's because people get aware and hey, this is wrong, or we want this.
Like people not using
our
WhatsApp
cultural
and-
things in the last month of the year, about the racism discussions. In the early days, we said, yeah, so what? I don't care. It's not in my street, so that's not a problem. And now we are more aware, and we are capable to express that ourselves about that.
Yeah.
And that's the same with tech. And the tech is ruling
It's
a
also
little
our
bit.
freedom of journalism. It's a basic right. It's a human right. If we were not able to give an opinion about our Black Pete, for example, we probably continue to have it the same for the next 10 years. So
we get
maybe
aware.
in some cultures there where they don't have the freedom of journalism and the freedom of opinion, freedom of speech, they are aware, but they just cannot make the leapfrog.
Not act on it.
Yeah.
And that's why we have the freedom to teach our children this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because they can get aware, and I don't know. For example, I'm the normal guy here, and I don't know what this phone can do.
It's the bomb.
Yeah, maybe. And
yeah.
There was a COVID app.
Yeah.
And no one told me about it.
It's Google's app, right?
Once it's on it, and we don't know. That's strange.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because we
they
let
know when
rule.
you are in the supermarket, and they know if there's too many.
Yeah, now I have
people.
put it off, but it's possible, luckily, but I don't know for how
put it
long.
on as well.
yeah. No, so that's the awareness is important, and that's why I do this simple tutorials, or simple with kids, and make things and make stuff, because they are not afraid for tech in basics. Mm-hmm. We make them afraid for tech, and I think that's not necessary.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, you were my final session of the New Horizons stage.
Great, thank you, Nick.
So that's a great wrap up of one day of a campus party. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the other sessions as well. I hope you have some feedback for us. But leave them in the comments in the upcoming days. Let us know how we are doing. As a host, me as a host, and how the speakers are doing, because they would love to receive some feedback and questions as well. So start networking with us. Start sharing your ideas and your creative ideas for hardware and software. What do you want to create, and how can you create a more abundant world there, where there's abundance and freedom of speech, of course, but also abundance and freedom of creation.
Great.
That would be an amazing, like abundance of freedom of creation. So we still have our children that are still able to create a world that is not fixed.
No.
Like it looks like it's fixed now.
Fixed in corporates,
Now it looks like it's fixed by the multinationals, and we have no way of going around them. But there are actually a lot of ways to create your own smart lights, and to create your own smart sensors, and to do the same things with not that much money, maybe even less money. Yeah?
And most people have that freedom, but they don't remember it. They are forgotten that they can have that freedom.
I think that's a matter of convenience.
The phone works, so it's okay. Yeah. And otherwise,
easy.
I buy a new one if it's broken.
I just buy a new one, and I'm going to fix it. I'm just going to throw it on the trash. It's convenient.
Yeah. I like old phones, so send me them.
Send the old Nokia.
I know. Now I like also the Wi-Fi spot on it, and so I can connect things. Yeah, I use
it. Wi-Fi dongle.
For example, and to show kids some web sites, or I use them for this. But if I have 10 or 15 kids. Then I have shorter phones mostly.
They like phones. They like easy, convenient.
If you are living in Holland and you have an old phone with a sort of Wi-Fi on it, and that part works, then I'm available.
Yeah, just send it to Raoul.
Yeah.
So thank you, everyone. I will show you some amazing footage that we were sent in today by Rolf with his drone video. So I'm going to do that as an outro video. I hope you all enjoyed, and we would love to see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. with our wake-up session from Gitte Breva. For now, enjoy the drone footage and have a lovely evening, and sleep well.
Sleep well. Bye-bye.
So I hope you liked them. And we have one more outro, of course. So feel free to watch the outro. And I hope you like the drone footage of Ralph Hogenbeek. He is Shaggy FPV. He's our Dutch best drone racer. He's competing in the World Championships. And he is also making this epic footage of so many great experiences that it's like fascinating how these small drones that we just showed you, that people are becoming Star Wars racers with these drones and are able to film on a completely new way. So a thumbs up with a happy smile. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.